Everybody celebrates the milestone. Almost no one tells you what happens the week after. Welcome back to the Say Yes Anyway podcast. I'm Jess, and I'm so happy that you're here. I first have to tell you before we really get into it that I just recorded this podcast and none of the sound worked. And I just got so frustrated for a moment. And then I caught myself and I said, you know what? You can either let it go and let this overtake your life and not put this episode out, or you can fully lean into it and do it again because it's that important. There's something that is trying to not get this episode out that people need to hear. And that is why I'm doing it again. So I got into my peaceful state. I got over it. I jumped right in. I said yes anyway. So say yes anyway. That is what we're going to do today. This is all about the Made for More season. And so if you know the Say Yes Anyway podcast, if you've listened to these episodes, thank you so much. These are conversations from the heart that there's something deep down in your heart you know you need to say yes to, even if it doesn't make any sense, even if you don't know what it's going to turn out to be, even if you don't want to record another episode again, but here we are. So what I'm talking about with this, everyone celebrates the milestone. Almost nobody tells you what happens the week after. Those that listen to the past couple episodes with Char and I, we share about our wedding journey. We share about how we met. We share about how I lived in Spain and he lived in Santa Barbara. We did 2 years long distance. It's funny because when people tell me they have a long distance relationship and it's an hour to 3 hours, I'm like, that must be hard, right? So we go into the nitty gritty. It will make you laugh. It will make you cry. It will make you do all of those things. And you need to go back. I'm telling you, before you really listen to all of this, or feel free to listen to it, but it will make more sense if you listen to the past episodes, please, with Char and I, my husband. But with this is we were living a crazy life. Those that know our story, amazing. Those that don't, like I said, go rewatch. But one of the things, like I said, I was living in Spain. He was living in Santa Barbara. We were doing 2 years long distance. Then we chose, fast forward from what him and I had shared with you, we chose that I was coming out here to Santa Barbara. We were going to ground in here together as a married couple and get married here in January. It's 6 months. Right now it's 6 months. So whoop whoop celebration. And it's almost my birthday. So super exciting. But during that time, uh I left around September of last year and then got here in Santa Barbara. And then we take off and we go to Seattle for my sister's wedding, like a week after I was here. And then we get back to Santa Barbara for 2 weeks. I take off again. I'm gone for a month and a half. I'm in Thailand leading a wholeness journey retreat and mission trip, working with traffic survivors. And then we go to Costa Rica and Char comes with me and we do our first couples wholeness journey, which was so incredible. And then come back and it's Thanksgiving and it's Christmas and we're doing the last bits of our wedding and then we get married in January. So, and we're planning our wedding all during this time. And I don't have a solid home. I'm in many, many places. For months from September on, I was in many places. So all to say, there was a different version of me that was living my life in Spain, right? A certain version. And then it was this weird transition of I don't live in one place. I'm in both, but we're planning our wedding. And then we finally get married. And then what comes after this celebration, right? It's like this celebration where we get married and then we have our honeymoon. And then what is it like to really fully live into that woman now? A different woman than where I was before. I'm still the same woman, right? But then I'm also a different woman. It's a weird, disorienting thing after that wedding. And so nobody really talks about this place. And so I want to talk about it. I want to talk about this interesting, honest part of the identity gap that maybe you can relate to. I want you to think about your own life and maybe how you can relate to this in your own life, not necessarily with, marriage and in the same exact story that Char and I have. But one thing is the joy was real. It was so real. It was so real. Everything that was going on, we were so happy with Like, I mean, if you were at our wedding, you know. If you were not there, it's okay. We had the most incredible 3 days of our lives. It was like a wedding retreat, everything that we could have ever imagined. It was better than that. Okay. Um, and nobody prepares you for the who am I now, that this life is real. Now that we are living it, the dream and the prayer that I had to share this beautiful life with somebody is now happening. And it's like when the milestone is done, it's ending, and then there's a new beginning all at once, right? And then there's the version of you who worked toward this is not fully the version of you still, pieces of you, but then the more made for more version of you that's inside of you still. So I want you to think about, again, your own life. Like maybe there's been a launch, like you had this amazing business launch and now, and you're living it. And now you're like, oh my gosh, I'm doing it. Here I am. Like I was over here, but I'm doing it now. And then, or maybe like you graduated, you've been going to school for so long, and then you graduate and now you're living the career that you really want. Or maybe there is, like whatever big goal, a financial goal, a relationship goal, something that you got to that feels like a milestone. And then it's almost this interesting, like, how do I really live this out now? Right? This is to all you ladies who have that whisper, that knowing that you're made for more. You're made for more than where you have been going. You're not the same version of yourself that you were 5 years ago. You're the new version of yourself now. So you either have a business, you have a nonprofit, you're a leader in the world, and you know that you're pivoting. You know that you want to create more expansive goals. You desire to be a better version of yourself, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And you also want to create the business that's going to impact more lives, that is more aligned with you, whether that's creating more aligned offers, whether that is speaking, whether that's podcasting, whether that's creating a community, whether that's launching something, a book, whether that's something else that you just know that you've been maybe playing small or holding back in some sort of way, and it's ready. You're ready now. This Dreams to Reality Mastermind, I'm so excited because we have 6 months where we're diving in deep with a community of women that get it, a community of women that are all ready to go to that next level, that are there to grow, that are ready to learn, that are taking their business and their impact to the next level, and in helping more people. This is about helping those that you really care about. Maybe you have a story that you are using for a purpose. You're taking your pain into the next level of your purpose. And what you can do is you can contact me. You can go to my Instagram, which is Jess Dahl, JessDahl with an underscore, or you can go to my website, jessdahl.com. And if any of this resonated at all, let's talk about it. Let's see if this is for you. I want to make sure that it's an aligned fit. So go ahead. Don't wait around. Your next level is waiting for you. This is your next chapter that you're ready to start in for your life. It's time to start with that blank slate. Let's do this. So I want to share a few things about why the Say Yes Anyway podcast went quiet for a while. So it's been months since getting back on here and sharing anything or sharing interviews. And I want to be honest about it. I want to share what's been happening. And before I can fully get back into sharing all of the episodes, I have to kind of take you backwards and paint that picture of what's been very real, and this duality that I'm kind of talking about, of this life that was to what is, and then the made for more moving into it, right? So just so you know, and if you didn't know, if you did know, I was in a very hard season, and Char and I actually both were. And I want you to go back and listen to the episodes that Char and I did. It's very important that you do, to really know, and you will laugh and you will cry, like I said. But we came out of really hard seasons. One thing for me, I was in a really bad car accident, tons of physical pain all the time, mental capacity. I was at my capacity, just my limit, right? $25,000 of debt. And this is due to medical expenses and everything that the car accident put me through. And I finally got to pay it off before we got married, before we had our covenant. But we did not have to take this heaviness, this load into our marriage, thank God. And, and then the next thing after getting married, we went on our honeymoon with no socials, no work, nothing, just quality time together. It was so incredible. And Char always says, he's like, man, I love doing nothing with you because you're always doing something. And so just doing nothing with you is like my favorite thing. And that was like the start of us being able to do nothing together to like really build what it is that we are creating in our life right now, and so right after the honeymoon, so it's like maybe actually it's the last day, I think the last day of our honeymoon, I get a text message from a dear friend, and he tells me how one of my best friends that I knew had cancer, that she was on her last leg of life, that within the next week or two, she was no longer going to be alive. And that was like such a hard reality that hit. And so that last day of the honeymoon, it's like tears, and I'm like in shock, because we really believed that she was going to get better and be healed. So fast forward, we get home from our honeymoon, and 2 days later, I fly out to go and see her. And it was the best. It was so hard. It was so hard to see her. It was so hard to see her interstate. It was, I was shaking. My heart sank. It was like who she was not who I knew her to be the last time I saw her. And that was really hard. But we also had the most amazing moments that we shared. Like I would not take it back for the world. I'm so happy that I went. And we had incredible moments together, just us two, with it was only her family and a couple of us really close friends. And yeah, it was incredible. But the next week she passed away, and it was excruciating. I wasn't okay. It was very hard. And so fast forward, here we are, we just get married. And then 2 days after, I see my friend that's about to pass, and then she passes the next week. It's like this weird duality of life and death, of celebration of grief, of joy and sadness and anger and all of it. And that was difficult. Like I was not okay during that time. And Char really had to support and encourage and lift me up and be an emotional support. He was so great. Like, thank God for him during that time for sure. But it was a season of like for a month, I felt like a vegetable, right? Like I would work for an hour, and then I would have to lay on my bed for an hour, and then I would like go on a walk, and then I would cry, and then I would work for an hour. And then it was just, I never knew it was going to come up. And I had to let myself be in that process of grief. And it was interesting because during that time, I was like getting ready to, blast off a bunch of episodes. And it was, really in that time that there was no way. There was just no way. And for me personally, I chose to focus on my health and focus on the people around me. Now, also, mind you, we just moved. We right before we got married, we moved all of our stuff into the place that we now have. We barely had any furniture. We during our wedding for our registry, that's when we actually started getting things for our home that we needed. But coming from both of our backgrounds, we didn't have stuff. My house burnt down back in 2021. Most of the things fit in my car, or I have a few things at my parents' house. But we don't have that much stuff. So we're getting used to what it feels like to even be in a new home, what it feels like to be in a whole new town, city. I'm looking at the most gorgeous view. We have an ocean view right now. It's amazing, but it's different. It's different than I was living in Barcelona, right? And I had my life that I was living. Now we're a married couple and we're living in this different house, and I'm grieving, but I'm trying to celebrate our marriage, but I can't buy furniture because I don't have capacity to look for stuff. So it just felt like not like a full home yet, right? It was like months like of that. And then it's okay, what are our daily rhythms? Who do we hang out with? Who are our people? What is this culture here in this space like? What are the people like? What is my role here? What do we do together? Who are the mentors that we have and how often do we see them? What are people's lives like to like blend our life with our new friends and family? And what does our day-to-day look like individually and together? So uh really the podcast got on the back burner. It was a conscious choice. Um, it was that I was not capable of it. And coming back from that season of the car accident and all the stuff that we share about in the previous episode where Char and I share about our marriage and stuff, um, I really learned that if I'm not okay, how can I really serve someone else? And I've been learning this process my whole life, right? So it's just a new level. And I was growing through a lot of things of my identity of how I used to operate and what I used to do in whether it be in relationships, in my career, finances, whatever, and how I would operate a certain way. And for this new version of myself in my marriage and in the life that God has for us moving forward, I have to operate differently. Not bad, but different. And what's really helped me during these times has been tons of prayer. Like, man, my faith in God, we are tight. We are tight. We talking all the time, let me tell you. Lots of grace with myself in so many ways. Places where I would beat myself up. I would think that I, was responsible for everything, which that's still a concept that I'm still learning. But learning to operate as this new version of me rather than the old one and getting around real solid support, not just people that talk about, I want to be a support for you or I'm always here for you, but people that actually show up. Those are the only people that we've been around the past couple of years, by the way. We've had to do a lot of stripping of relationships, and which has been a journey in itself. And so really making healing and allowing this new version of me and also in our marriage to fully blossom instead of squeezing all of the things that maybe I used to know and do and what I think I should do, squeezing all of that and just letting it kind of ruin things. So I just wanted to share all of these details because um, there's like a bridge here. There's this bridge of how marriage, how business, how this podcast, they're like the same lesson, right? It's that identity gap that I also want you to be thinking about how maybe this applies to you, but how I share like the wedding happens, or maybe you have a hard season and you have a separation from a business partner or a friendship um like I said earlier, a milestone of graduating or starting a business or having a family or whatever, and then you having to show up as this new version. It's the same thing with this podcast. Now, I want to share all of this with you because there is this made for more season that I'm going into that is another like new version of me, new version of where this is going. And so I have to give you this backstory of what was going on for what this bridge is and why are we here? And it's not like a comeback season of I figured it all out. I figured it out all life, but it's this made for more season of showing up even when you don't fully feel ready or when you don't have it all fully figured out, which has been the message of Say Yes Anyway podcast the entire time. Say yes anyway before you feel ready. Say yes anyway, even if it doesn't make sense. Say yes anyway, ... So that's why I'm here. And that's why I have to share that backstory. So what does this season look like? What does this Made for More season look like? This is all about the made for more. You are made for more. I am made for more. This next chapter is going to be so amazing, more than you could ever think or imagine. So as we're entering into more, there's going to be more solo episodes like this, more concepts, more teaching, more raw vulnerability, more I would actually love to hear from you guys. What more do you want to hear? What more season are you in? What is it that you believe that you're made for more in? And there's going to be tons of guest conversations. So get ready because they're powerhouses. If you haven't listened to the ones previous, go and listen to them because they're amazing. I look up to them. I had them on for a reason. I only talk to people that I want to learn from or I'm curious about, that I want my listeners, that I want you guys to hear from and learn from. So please go back and listen and follow along, keep coming. And you're going to hear more from Char. It's going to be fun. You know, he's the best. If you didn't go back and listen to the last ones, go do it. The one where he's on there with me. I've never brought him on and I've been waiting. It's been, 2.5 years that we've been together. And it's time. So super pumped. And then I want to know your input. I want you to send me a DM on Instagram. You can find me at jessdoll.com, Jess at jessdoll.com. You can email me. I check all my emails, but I want to hear your thoughts, what you'd like to hear more of. And specifically for you, if you're in some sort of pivot or some sort of transition or some sort of space in between there that we're talking about today, this is your reminder that it's not the end. This is your reminder that your story matters so much, that you are just stepping into your next chapter. This is the space where your next chapter is created. So do you feel like you're made for more? If so, I want to hear from you. This is you. So I want you to follow along. I want you to subscribe. I want you to share this episode. I want you to leave a 5-star review because it goes out to more listeners. Please, please, please do that. I'm asking. And then send me a message. Like I said, send me a DM, go to my email, go to my website. And this is what Dreams to Reality. Dreams to Reality, for example, is made for more type of woman, yet in entrepreneurship. You know that you're made for more in entrepreneurship. You are ready to expand the vision. You are ready to align even deeper into who you are called to be as you grow this impact-driven, purpose-driven business or nonprofit. And there's also made for more in all areas of life, whether that be relationally, financially, living in a new place. You ended something and you're stepping into something new, but you don't even know what the new is, but you know that you're made for more. There's space for you. Okay. So I want to hear from you. If any of this stuff is you, awesome. I want to know, reach out. And I'm excited. I'm excited for what's to come because it is so good. It's already so good. And I have so much more to share with you because it's been juicy. It's been amazing. I haven't shared a ton of details about what our life is looking like right now, but it's awesome. And there's also so many unknowns. There's also so many things that we're still figuring out. There's also so many things that we do alongside people. We cannot do it alone. And so this is the space where we get to do this together. Okay. I love you guys. Go follow along. Go send this to somebody. Go leave a review, and I will see you on the next one.